Hello, my beautiful people out there, and welcome to Dealing with Life. In this video, I'm going to be presenting you with the truth about BPD or borderline personality disorder that nobody tells us. I'm also going to be presenting here crucial pieces of information to understand and navigate this condition. Element number 1. Few diagnoses carry more fear, misunderstanding, and abuse than borderline personality disorder. People may call it drama, manipulation, even label us like toxic people. But here is the truth that nobody tells us. This isn't just a mood swings disorder. Under the surface, there is a loop in our neurons. Inside our brain, there is a loop. It's not biological like bipolar disorder. However, our brain is wiring thoughts, feelings, and even life experiences, constantly connecting and retrieving early neglect or abandonment, even when it was only perceived, not real. With that wiring in place, our mirror neurons make us absorb emotions around us like sponges. A small tiny fear could snowball into paranoia, and the rejection we dread can start to feel painfully real. And for those that are not familiar with the concept of mirror neurons, we're going to be touching that base here in a bit. And here is the truth. Pain is real, but so are hope, healing, and full remission. I have experienced in my personal life how that loop rewires in a total change with effective treatment. In my view, the standard goal treatment to go to is dialectical behavior therapy. We're going to talk a little bit about DBT also here today. In upcoming videos, I'm going to be presenting more in-depth of information about dialectical behavior therapy. That's the go-to treatment I use with my clients, DBT. I'm going to explain a little bit today. However, in other videos, I'm going to present more detailed information and give you guys free resources of the golden best pieces, elements of dialectical behavior therapy for you to utilize at home and see how it goes. You could implement those even with your loved ones and your family members or any friend that you have close to your heart that you are seeing difficulties in interactions and interpersonal relationships. Those are wonderful resources I'm going to be presenting here because remember, one of the purposes of my life is to help you guys out there to understand and defeat this condition. It is sad. It is a very difficult condition to live with. I was able to go through it. I learned, and now here I am. This is the passion of my life, to give what I was given and help you. At this moment, let's talk a little bit about this effect of the mirror neurons. The mirror neurons, it's a phenomenon that they discovered back in 1990s by the Dr. Giacomo Rizzolatis. They were working with a team of monkeys and they observed how the neurons of the monkeys fired up whenever the monkeys felt excitement or happiness, whenever the monkeys felt their emotions, whichever emotions they were feeling depending on what they were perceiving in that instant. They discovered that when a monkey saw one of the other team monkeys from the experiment grabbing fruit, the monkey, the one that was seeing the action, he or she felt also excited and happy. And that's the reason why we also, the yawning. I don't know if you have noticed that, I'm sure that you have, that when we yawn, people around us, if we are in a group, they start yawning also. And that's the same reason why our neurons transmit those signals. And this is for the good and for the bad, because what is happening with us, with people that we suffer from BPD or that we have some traits of the condition, when we have interactions with someone and we feel that person likes us, the interaction goes beautifully, wonderfully. However, on the other extreme of the situation, when we have an interaction and we feel, and don't forget that people with BPD, we tend to exaggerate or amplify situations and emotions, right? That's the distinctive sign of the disorder. So when we have an interaction with someone and we have that feeling in our guts that, oops, this person doesn't like us, here is where all havoc breaks. A problematic situation is on track. So this element, the mirror neurons effect, is the one to blame for our paranoia and so much difficulties in our interactions with our interpersonal relationships. Because remember, we amplify everything. And even though we are like radars, we have this gift per se. Sometimes it could be called a gift. We have a very fine, calibrated radar to be able to read emotions and situations around us. However, sometimes it backfires because it reads situations sometimes too much, too further, too intense. It could be very problematic for individuals with this condition, and those interpersonal relationships, they go right down the hill. And yes, here is when a fairly ordinary day-to-day situation could become catastrophic in a second. Now, the golden treatment to go to, in my vision and experience, is dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. And it was coined by the almighty Marshall Leningham. And this is going to be the element number 3 in our video today. So now that we know a little bit about the mirror neurons, we know that they act like amplifiers. They are the ones to blame for all our dismays and sorrows. Because of them, we don't just notice tension around us, but we also absorb it. For instance, a cool tone feels like rejection. A delayed text from a friend seems like abandonment. We react defensively, urgently, intensively, and the loop tightens and tightens. So now, the third element I'm going to be presenting you during this mini lesson is the actual skills. These skills, in my impression, are the most powerful tools to work with conditions or traits that affect individuals with a borderline personality disorder. But what is even more phenomenal about these skills is that any person, it does not have to be specifically affected by BPD. Any human being that applies this skill in his life is going to see a thriving effect because they are tailored to teach us to control our emotions. And if you want to live a successful, thriving life, emotional control and emotional intelligence are, in my impression, number 1, most needed skills and abilities to reach that juicy, happy life we all deserve. Now, you will see those skills here. Print them out, paste it on your fridge so you have it present when you need it the most. Gift it to your significant other, to your family member, to that friend, or just to that person that you love. Know that it might benefit a lot from them. These are not all the skills of the therapeutic intervention, dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. Hands down, these are the most impactful. If you have to get something from this little dish, get this. The DBT School of Thought has around 20 skills. And I'm going to dedicate a video solely to explain and give you examples about how to utilize and implement each of them. However, these skills that I am presenting you here in this worksheet are hands down the most impactful. If you want to get something from this little teaching today, get those skills. Please place this worksheet in a location that you have it present. It's going to change your life with a little consistency. I'm not here to promise anything. However, I assure you that with some effort, like everything in life, good things in life takes some effort. And with a little bit of consistency, you will get there. Together, we will get there. Element number 4. This one is the most dangerous for us. And there are several dangerous factors or departments in our condition, borderline personality disorder. But this one is very pervasive and malignant. This is the fact that we attract not very good people to our lives. And here, I'm going to touch a little bit on my personal story with BPD and that fear of abandonment that we tend to, for lack of a better word, to get a little bit clingy to persons sometimes. And those people or individuals are not exactly the best individuals to have around. And many times, these individuals are high in the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder. This is an entire video I'm going to devote. So please subscribe, because after this video, I'm going to generate a video of this symbiotic relationship and dangerous relationship of people with borderline personality disorders, and how people with narcissistic personality disorder, they prey and take advantage of the factor, that distinctive characteristic of people with BPD. That is, please do not abandon me. They take advantage of this distinctive feature of us. Please subscribe, because the next video I'm going to be presenting in this channel is to warn everybody out there that suffers from borderline personality disorder. Please is to be aware of the level of malicious intentionality of people in the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder. And remember, these individuals, they don't have a diagnosis. I'm going to present a whole video on this. It's a lot. It's a lot. So please subscribe to the channel, because the next video is going to be really eye-opening for all of us. Take care. We need to take care of us. And this is going to be vital on your repertoire to protect yourself, so never again people get advantage. So yes, I have promised to be real here. And here's the story. Me, myself, I have been, before I studied and was exposed to the amount of information that I now have, I have been in those type of relationships also. I have been in that place where the highs felt holy, but the lows felt like the end of my world. I ignored my body telling me, no, don't do it. I ignored that. You know why? Because my fear of abandonment, my fear of not being enough. So that fear screamed louder than my frontal lobe, my rationality, my pride, my identity as a human being, my self-respect, and my sanity. And that's how we end up sleeping with the wrong people, sleeping with the enemy. That, by the way, is going to be the title of the next video on this particular dangerous element. The wrong partners, the one that we decided to stay because of our life experiences and neurons are yelling at us, try harder and stay, could drag us towards abuse, trauma, addictions, and even self-harm. I know the dark place they could take us. Please protect yourself. Get informed. You're doing the right thing here, now. Then the good news is that I am the living proof that change, it could be accomplished. With a few skills and practicing them consistently, we could build a thriving life in mental health and relationships. Yes, remission is possible. Full remission. The circuits rewired and peace is possible. Together, we will get there. If you suspect that you or any of your loved ones could be presenting or be affected by some of the situation we have described here, emotional irregulation, difficult interactions, difficult interpersonal relationships, please seek professional help. And remember, this is not forcefully. It is also important to understand that skills are not about perfection. They are progress and compassion in action. We will get there. Yet, with a little bit of effort and consistency, there is a light.